Hey guys out there, Thomas here. So, you want to be an Uber driver? Well, I've been an Uber driver since 2018 and have driven for them and had some really good experiences, had some not so good experiences. So, I'm here just to give you some pointers if you want to become an Uber driver. Which I mean, there are some upsides about doing this. One of which is that you're your own boss. You decide when you want to work, when you want to drive. You decide, if you want to do Uber, Lyft. I mean, you want to do Uber. If you want to do Uber Eats, if you want to do the package delivery, they have, or you want to do some other things that the Uber has. So there are ways to make money in this. They are definitely ways where you can make an income, and it's definitely a good side hustle. So I'm going to give you some information that it affected, that I went through, and when I was looking for a side hustle. The reason why I decided to do Uber was because I used to be a school bus driver, and I'm familiar with my area, and I'm pretty much good with the customers. And I had a good rating. I had a 4.9 out of 5 rating with for customers. It's, if you're into public service and if you're into dealing with the customers, this is a good opportunity for you. Yes, there are some drawbacks, whereas there are some people who are very pushy, and there's some people who are very particular. But you take that with the flow, with any type of transportation business or dealing with the public. So the first thing is that I would say, if you want to be an Uber driver, give it a shot. But you got to be mindful that people are people. People have good days. People have not so good days. So you got to take people, where they at, and just give it an opportunity to, meet a different type of people, because in your life you meet lots of different type of people. And some people are, they're good, and they have issues just like you have issues. So I've been in this business for 3, 4, 5 years now, and I really enjoy it. The good, the bad, and the ugly. I would recommend it. So definitely. Now, if you're going to do your Uber business, there's some apps. Well, you got to make sure you got a good phone. You can use an Android phone, or you can use an iPhone. I have used both. So I would go with an Apple phone over an Android phone. The reason why is because of battery management. With when you're using your battery, you're going to use a lot of energy, because you're using the Uber apps to pull down 2 signals. Once you're using the app, plus you're using the GPS too. And I have 2 sets of GPS. I have the regular GPS they have, plus I use Waze also, because it's a backup, and you always want to have redundancy with anything. Definitely with Uber, because there's some times where you're gonna be in an area where, 1, you can't get a signal. 2, it's gonna be too dark, cloudy, where you can't get a signal, or there's some dead zones where you just can't get a signal. So you always want to have a backup. Also, you want to have a battery backup, and a battery backup, and it doesn't help, because when I was doing Uber, I would have my regular phone, plus I had my iPad also, which had a media plan with it, through Verizon. So I had a backup for the backup. So I was definitely out there, but there were some problems. But you definitely want to be involved with that. The next thing, if you want to do Uber, um, talk to other people, talk to some riders, and if you know any, and just do some more investigation. When Uber started here in Baltimore or Maryland, there was nobody I could go into, so I was one of the first Uber drivers in Maryland to sign up and become an Uber driver. And and from doing this, I've also met a lot of people, and it's been good. So the next thing you want to do is you want to look at your car. You can't get a hoopty. You definitely can't have a hoopty. All right, the car's got to be less than 10 years old. In the state of Maryland, the cars have to be inspected yearly. That means that you got to pay for a vehicle inspection report, and I got one handy here. This is a vehicle inspection report sheet, so it's legit. And with Uber, when you get this done, you make sure that whoever's doing it can send it to Uber, so that so you get a record. Now, because they need to make sure your car is safety is always key. So you got to make sure your car is tip top, ready to go. Also, you got to so when your vehicle inspection, they look at everything from top to bottom. Plus, they will just check and let you know what needs to be fixed. If you need to get something fixed, they will let you know, and so that you can get it fixed before you get your inspection, so that you can go to Uber and say that your car is ship shape. But be prepared. You might have to kick some dollars out now. On this particular inspection, I got to get brakes on my vehicle, so that's going to cost me about $500. Then I got to pay a reinspection fee, which is $69. So, but there is an upfront cost. So you got to be prepared for that. You just can't go in there, here's my car. No, there are costs that you have to do it, because with any business, you got to pay some upfront cost. So that's one thing that you have that I didn't know about, but when you get your Uber business started, you got to think about that too. Well, you got to have insurance too. Your insurance on the cars got to be tip top also. So with Uber, they want to make sure that you have your insurance is okay. So and registration, so they gonna need to get copies of that, which you can do through the app. And then also, once you get all that done, then you're almost ready. Then you got to go through. There's some safety programs that you got to look on your phone to make sure that you do some training, such as sexual harassment. Different types of people have different types of issues, so driver safety, that kind of thing. You got to go through those things too. So you got to be properly trained, because we live in a litigious society, and people will sue you just for saying boo. Okay, so you got to get all that done too. So once you get all of that, you get your driver's license, you get that on the app, you get your vehicle inspection, you get that done. Make sure you got your upfront cost, make sure your hoopty's ready, make sure you got gas in the vehicle, and then you're all set to go. So in the next video, I'll talk to you more about once you start getting on the road and getting things through, and I'll tell you about some of the things that I had to go through in order to get up. So my next video should be coming right after this one. Okay, if not, it'd be up here. Hopefully, if I'm using somewhere up here. But anyway, you guys take care. See you on number 2 video. Bye bye.